All right, today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Sarah Luke here from Pewaukee in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Sarah, thanks for jumping on with me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me, Stacie.
My pleasure. I am a fanatic in your business, so I would love to talk about Pewaukee and just share what you're doing in business, especially because it's a seasonal business, your experience with that. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. When people ask you what Pewaukee does, how do you describe your business?
Well, our business is a place for people to connect to natural resources such as water in a calm, inviting, um, athletic way. So it's a place to find tranquility as well as your own strength and create your own story. A lot of people have this idea that they can't paddleboard or it's not for them, or they have to like go on a kayak. But my business partner, Wakapini, and our goal is to get people connected to nature and to their own strength and beauty within themselves. So my dad was president of my town, Pewaukee, when I was growing up. And his main agenda was always to make sure that natural resources were accessible to everyone and that it's not just for the wealthy or the elite. But I want to take it a step further because my parents rented boats with motors, and though that's great and fun. And don't get me wrong, I like fast boats and it's fun. But there's something about being out on water where you're not polluting, making noise pollution. There's something about being in nature where you're gliding yourself forward with every paddle instead of relying on something else.
Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. I love your mission and your father's mission to allow all people access to nature and water. And I don't know if you know this SPA. I learned this when I was in the Dominican Republic. SPA is an acronym and it
Hmm.
means Salud por Agua, health by water. And water is just so healing for all of us. And when you're able to share that tranquility, I just want to thank you so much for that. That's really cool. Really
I
neat.
like that spa.
I didn't know it either. So I think that was
Yeah,
really, thank you so
yeah.
much for what you're doing in business. And I can also appreciate, I was kayaking this past weekend on the Milwaukee River, right where the Hone Bridge is, and it was so busy. There were boats everywhere. There was so much going on. So getting out into lake country in that west area where it's just more peaceful is really, really neat. So cool.
Yeah. The lake can be crazy during the weekends, but I mean, if you come out when there's not a lot of boats, you almost have the lake to yourself, which is pretty amazing.
What time are you
Yeah.
open in the morning that people could hop on?
People can come really anytime. We have a doorbell, so people can just ring the doorbell. We live right next to it, so um, it's pretty easy for people to come out. And we have season pass holders, and they know how to get a paddle if they really want one. And some come out super early in the morning and get a nice sunrise paddle. But we highly recommend sunset paddles because
Ooh.
Pewaukee has a wonderful sunset.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So you started your business in 2012. What were your plans when you started the business and how has it changed?
Well, I guess my then husband Waka, and now we're divorced, but and our daughter Kotahi Tahua, we decided to travel the world when she was 6 months old. So for 5 years we were nomadic, traveling the world, and we needed to set up businesses in different places. So we kind of traveled between LA, Costa Rica, and Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, because this is where I grew up, and I wanted my daughter to have the experience of Wisconsin, just Wisconsin in general, but especially Wisconsin summer.
Yeah.
And so I guess the goal was more very selfish, was to ensure that we could stay in Wisconsin and have some sort of anchor in this community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say selfish, and I got to say, it's not selfish at all. We have one life, and our coaches often talk to our business owners about getting in alignment. What do you really want in life, and how can you leverage business to do the things you want to do and to go the places you want to go? Like a business, you're building a business to work for you, not for you to work for the business forever, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yeah, so we used it, we built it for our own ability to travel, but our own ability to return to Wisconsin, and my daughter to return to Wisconsin.
So cool.
Yeah.
Love it. So
Yeah.
what is the biggest way that you impact the community?
Oh, there are many ways. I mean, we host schools here 2 times in spring and in fall for their outdoor PE or physical education classes.
Yeah.
And like the teachers that we connect, there's 2 main teachers that we connect with, and we're getting these kids out on the water where maybe they would never have that chance or opportunity or think they can or cannot do it. And during a school day, they're paddleboarding on Pewaukee Lake. How cool is that? But we also offer, well, I mean, we do a lot. We offer um, rentals all the time, but like even this year, we're really highlighting the businesses that you can go to before and after. Like in our building alone, there's just Schnitzel shop that just opened up. I didn't
Oh,
know what schnitzel was, even though I am from Wisconsin, but schnitzel, pounded flat meat. That's, I
yes.
guess that's the translation, apparently.
Okay.
But it's really good, and they have vegetarian, vegan options, which is cool.
Interesting.
Um, but like for them, come and paddle and get a schnitzel. And we have like a whole lakefront community that my dad helped establish when he was the president. So Pewaukee has this beautiful lakefront, thriving lakefront with amazing restaurants. So we tell people to go there. When they paddle, we give them places to go and different places to stop along the lake so that they can get a bite to eat or go to the bathroom and get ice cream, and introduce them to like certain parts of Pewaukee Lake. We help with festivals, the Clean Lake Festival, and I just feel like we're almost a community beacon in terms of we're a place for people to go that are actually super cool. Like yesterday, we had a quick trip cashier came in. She's like, I see people coming in and going from your place all the time. I drive past her and all I see is like the lake filled with paddleboards. She's like, I have to come do this myself,
Yes.
and she was cool. She was awesome. And I feel like we're just kind of a beacon for people that want to be in nature and want to be athletic, but don't necessarily want to own their own paddleboard. And we sometimes recommend, if you don't live in a lake, not to own your own paddleboard, because it's just easier just to like use our lake access instead of like lugging a huge board on top of your car.
Totally.
So
So
yeah.
many great ways that you're impacting the community. And I think that's super important that you highlight that you are supporting other businesses, because when one business thrives, more thrive, right? So
Yeah, I mean, Anchor Fitness is a personal training studio here in Pewaukee, and Amy Hopkins, the owner, she's just a badass on so many levels. Her class that she teaches on Monday is called SUP Strength, and she
cool.
practically fills it out every single Monday at $25 per person. People flock to her. There's only 4 Mondays left. We're like, mid-August while we're talking, but there's only 4 Mondays left, and I think they might all be booked solid.
Wow. Is that Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Monday evening?
Monday, 6:15 p.m. Mhm.
Well, good to know. I'll look into that, see if there isn't
Yeah,
one.
I mean, it's amazing. And she's literally like, I mean, I could throw a stone and hit her building. And we have yoga teachers that have been with us for 11 years because they just love teaching the people that come out here. And we have like dedicated students that come out year after year to do the SUP yoga and the SUP strength. And we have moon tours, so people get to go out on the lake at night when it's absolutely quiet with a beautiful light and very tranquil experience.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's like,
Yeah. Well, and we
yeah,
have a right now, right?
what was that?
Full moon.
Yeah, today, yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
red one. Did you see it? It was red. It's
So
crazy.
cool. Right. Oh my gosh. I love it. So what is one challenge that you have faced over the past, what, 11 years? You spend part of your time in California. What's one challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
I mean, I think our challenges are unique and not unique all the same time. I mean, I guess since this business works for us, I'm a full-time middle school science teacher also. So, I mean, what's challenging for me is, and I have a nutrition and fitness coaching business too. It's like figuring out how to do it all.
Yeah.
I want to do a lot. in this world in general, and but I also want to spend copious amounts of time here in Wisconsin. So it's just a challenge of like having all my needs met as a human being and running a business at the same time. And I feel like probably every single business, and other people are like, oh, I want to make my own schedule. I'm like, yes, you do make your own schedule ish, but you are still working a lot,
Yeah, almost all the time and sometimes, right? Until it's really established and you have your systems in place, right?
Yeah, and systems always have to modify with, I mean, we've been in business for 12 years, like we have to modify everything, like payments are way different than they were 12 years ago. We've been using Square for 12 years, but even how you interface with Square is different, and how you send the waiver now is different. And, COVID really kind of changed certain things. So we have systems, but you still got to respond to emails.
Yep, totally.
Calls. You still have to like do social media, even if you have systems in place, it's like you still have to work, so it's like this idea, your own business, you're still working.
Yep.
Yeah, probably harder than if it wasn't your own, but I enjoy working. I'm from Wisconsin, it's like me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Thank you. My next question, we have two more questions left. What does the future look like to paddle Pewaukee, and do you have an exit plan?
Mm. I mean, the future looks like hopefully we'll be here for a good solid 6 years while our daughter goes through high school. She's going into 8th grade. So our goal is definitely this to be our landing pad and income to get her through college. Then after that, we'll have to reevaluate, because in terms of like an exit plan also is like Walk and I are now divorced, but we're still running a business together and we're still raising a child together. But how do we exit from it? But I mean, it hurts my heart to think that there would be an exit plan. And I think my friends here in Pewaukee would be really upset if I said there was an exit plan. But I mean, maybe we sell it to someone and they run it, or maybe we lease it out to someone and they run it, and that will give us more freedom to do even more in our lives. That's definitely something that we've talked about and have explored, but I don't feel too comfortable with it quite yet in my heart. So running the permutations of what that will be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, good luck with that. You've got time. So, right. No stress right now with an exit plan. My final question for you today, Sarah, is all subjects open. What inspires you most?
I guess what inspires me the most is our ability as human beings to create the lives that we want to live. And we get to write our script and our narrative, and we don't have to succumb to the narrative that we think we have to fall into. So limitless possibilities is which it inspires me the most.
So inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. Sarah, thank you for your time today, for sharing Paddle Pewaukee with us, for sharing it, Pewaukee Lake, with so many people that want to get in touch with nature, for schools, for other businesses. If someone wants to get in touch with you and learn more about Paddle Pewaukee, what's the best way for them to do so?
The best way is, I mean, we have social media, Paddle PKE, instead of MKE from Milwaukee, we do PKE for Milwaukee, or our website, which is Paddle PKE or Paddle Pewaukee, both of them will point you there to .com, are the best ways to kind of get a hold, or just calling me is one of the best ways, to calling or texting. To get any information. We host like huge groups from bachelorette parties. We have 30 boards, so we get Girl Scout troops all the time coming out here, and we recommend huge groups because it's a lot of fun instead of like going out and drinking, which you can do too, but you can also add in some fun activity on top of nature.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Sarah. Best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Take care.